the Barbie world.
Come on, Barbie, let's go party.
I'm a Barbie girl.
Hey everyone, welcome to Mr. Teach Film Preach, and if you're a film lover like I am, then you are in the right place. What did you think of Barbie? Were you a fan of this film? Are you a lover of Greta Gerwig's other films? I would love to hear your thoughts in comments. Click that like button and subscribe, and that will help us out so much getting to that 200 subscriber goal by the end of this year. Thank you so much for doing that. So let's jump into talking about the 2023 comedy film, Barbie. Based on the famous Mattel toy, Barbie begins suffering an existential crisis that leads her to question her world in Barbieland, her role, and her existence, so she travels with Ken to the real world to find the answers.
Wow, this is the real world. What's going on? Why are these men looking at me?
Yeah, they're also staring at me.
When I heard that they were making a Barbie film like years ago, I rolled my eyes at it. I couldn't believe it was happening. Then I heard Greta Gerwig was directing it and writing it. I thought, wow, what a great choice. Warner Brothers has been doing such a great job of marketing this film. So eventually it built up my anticipation to go see this flick. I was so excited, and I got to do the Barbenheimer, the double feature of Barbie / Oppenheimer in one day, back to back. I did Barbie first and then Oppenheimer. Either way you see this film, either way you chop it up, this film is amazing.
'Cause you're amazing.
I had a wonderful time with this movie. This is my kind of humor, where it mixes a little bit of meta humor and referential humor, and it kind of spoofs other movies, but it also makes fun of itself. It doesn't take itself too seriously, but it doesn't make fun of itself to the point where it's total parody. It has some really great emotional moments. There's some hilarious musical numbers, some of the great dance and musical numbers I've seen in modern film in the last 5, maybe even 10 years. And so it has all these elements, these comedic elements that are just my kind of humor.
I'm just kidding. Anywhere else I'd be a 10. Is it my destiny to live and die a life of blonde fragility?
And Greta Gerwig, being a millennial, being a 90s kid, being someone who grew up in the 90s and in the early 2000s, I relate to her on many different levels. She's not just a great filmmaker, a wonderful visual storyteller, and a fantastic writer, but she's also in that age group where she's she just gets my funny bone. This film is so intelligently written, and I shouldn't have expected anything less. Greta Gerwig and her last 2 films have been phenomenal and so different. If you look at Lady Bird, that is so different from Little Women. Compared Little Women to Barbie, those 3 movies are wildly different, and yet they still have similar themes of femininity and empowerment and finding yourself that's being told through these really powerful stories. And I think she is a master. She might be the best director under 40, considering what the topics are about. Struggles of what it is to be a woman in modern day America, and her voice is so powerful. And it's great also that it's not just fully focused on that. Yes, that's a major part of the story and maybe the most main part, but there's also so much commentary on our culture and where we are at in the world today, and masculinity, and all these different great gender themes that are wrapped up in this movie that is fun, wacky, silly, ridiculous, hilarious, even heartwarming. I was surprised at how much this movie actually impacted me emotionally. Please. Let's talk about the performances. Margot Robbie was a perfect casting choice for Barbie. I would love to hear another actress who could play Barbie to this comedic effect, that looks great, who is a wonderful actor, that can carry an entire film on their shoulders, and deliver dialogue that is both ridiculous, stupid, and silly, and yet at times very intelligent and highly thought out and stylized dialogue.
I don't have anything big planned, just a giant blowout party with all the Barbies and planned choreography and a bespoke song. You should stop by.
So cool.
And wrap it up all into one movie where they pull it off. If you can find someone else other than Margot Robbie who would have done great in this role, I would love to hear your thoughts and comments down below. Please do that. This might have been one of her best performances she's done to this date. She is astonishing in this film. She better be nominated for Golden Globe, and I would even say Academy Award for Best Lead Actress. Don't get me wrong, we're in the middle of July here. It's nowhere near close to the Academy Awards next year, but I think she should at least be nominated. Let's talk about the other side of the coin. Ken, who was played hilariously by Ryan Gosling. I will say this is probably my favorite, maybe my second favorite Ryan Gosling performance ever. He is so good. In fact, at times he's almost like too good. He steals sometimes the scenes because he's just got so many hilarious moments, and he's supposed to be the prima donna of this film. And he pulls it off in spades.
I just don't know who I am without you.
You're Ken.
But it's Barbie and Ken.
When he was first casted as Ken, I thought, like, that's a good choice. I didn't think it was, like, the best choice, but it was good. After seeing the film, I know I changed my tune. He is the perfect choice for Ken. You have to be able to sing, act, dance, have comedic timing, be able to be dramatic, have a certain manliness about him, but also be emotionally vulnerable at times, while still having a charming effect that we still like this character. At times, he is the antagonist of the story, even though he goes on this journey with Barbie. And I love the dynamic and the relationship and the chemistry between Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. I thought it was spot on. Ryan Gosling should also be nominated for like a Best Supporting Actor role for this. There wasn't a single weak link in this film.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Issa Rae as President Barbie was astonishingly hilarious. Kate McKinnon as Weird Barbie. You just gotta watch this movie for Kate McKinnon's performance. Simu Liu is so funny in this film.
It's like this beach was a little too much beach for you, Ken.
If I wasn't severely injured, I would beat you off right now, Ken.
I will beat both of you off at the same time.
And Canadian brother. Oh, I also forgot to mention Ryan Gosling, my Canadian brother. Oh, and also Michael Cera.
I'm proud to be from the Great White North.
And this film stacks its cast like there's going to be no other movies made after this film. I couldn't believe the cast that Greta Gerwig assembled. And this movie asks a lot of questions and doesn't necessarily answer them all, and kind of at times goes and just sort of shrugs. I appreciate that. I like that it doesn't have to wrap everything up with a nice bow. But I was still satisfied when the movie ended where it ends. It definitely lands the plane so well. Just saying in my last video for Joyride that Joyride might be one of the best comedy films of 2023. And I am now eating my words. I ate my words.
Yummy.
Barbie is now in the running for the best comedic film of 2023. I laughed in this film from start to finish. The dance number, oh my god, the Ken song, and when they're all dancing together in their black shirts, just...
That was awesome.
And it was so great to see Greta Gerwig pull from films from her past that obviously inspired her in this movie, like The Truman Show and Grease. This movie looks gorgeous. The production design should be nominated for an Academy Award because the costumes and the set pieces and the way that they created Barbieland was amazing and looked like plastic toys in real life, but also it didn't look cheap. This movie in the wrong hands could have looked very cheap and been very dumb and have no backbone to it, but in the hands of Greta Gerwig and her team, I mean, they really pulled it off. The creative team behind this production is astonishing as well. The editing was fantastic. The movie's only like an hour and 50 minutes long. It's paced really well. There's a bunch of amazing cameos from random actors, and I don't even want to like give any away because it's so awesome when they pop up. Surprise! Expand on the Barbie lore and also make fun of, you know, commercialism and consumerism while also addressing the fact that that's how they make their money. And I was kind of shocked at how much Mattel let them get away with in this movie. But at the same time, it was the best thing that they could have done was just lean into it and just let Greta Gerwig tell this amazing story. However, if you look at the story on a basic level, it's a very simple story. And then Greta Gerwig, with her commentary and her own life as a woman in America, wrapping it up in her style, in her humor, in her dialogue, and in her storytelling tone, it's just brilliant filmmaking.
It's beautiful, man!
And this has just been a hell of a July. Let me just say that right now for movies. I am so happy right now. I'm just like, yeah, baby, living my best life.
My best life right now.
Now, before everyone jumps down my throat and starts getting mad at me for what I'm about to say, 90% of this movie is amazing. But it is not a perfect film. The biggest glaring issue for me with this film, there's about 20 minutes in the middle of this film where they go to the Mattel offices, and it just pumps the brakes on the movie. A lot of this movie is set in Barbieland, and a lot of it is set in the real world with Ken and Barbie interacting with people in the real world. And I guess a part of that real world is in the Mattel offices. As soon as Barbie walks into the Mattel offices and we're just kind of stuck in there for 20 minutes, it doesn't work a lot of the scenes, and some of the humor kind of falls flat.
This would be catastrophic!
And it just puts the brakes on this great momentum that this movie's had. And it's kind of like, oh, it's got this great momentum and now we're plateauing for a minute. And then it continues onwards into the third act. I don't know if we need to spend as much time inside of that brick gray building. A little bit mispaced for that section of the film. Did it totally stop the train? Absolutely not. In the end, Barbie picked itself up and kept that steam engine rolling really hard right till the end of the film. I can't quite declare this movie like a full-on masterpiece, but it's the closest thing to a modern comedy masterpiece. And maybe in like a couple years, or maybe even a couple of months from now, I might feel differently and be like, yeah, no, this is. This movie was a hell of a good time. It is such an intelligent film. It's got so many great themes, but also it's just super entertaining and really rewatchable. I can't wait to go see this film again. This movie is a multifaceted, intelligent satire on femininity, masculinity, consumerism, and existentialism. Bravo, Greta Gerwig and team. Bravo.
Bravo!
Keep your eyes peeled for the second half of Barbenheimer, where I'm going to review Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. I'm going to go ahead and give Barbie an A. What did you all think of Barbie? Was this one of your favorite films of the year so far? Or did you think it was only okay? And also, what is your favorite Greta Gerwig film out of the 3 she has directed on her own so far? I would love to hear your thoughts and comments down below. Thank you so much for checking out Mr. Teach Film Preach. Come back and check out some other videos I've reviewed recently, like Joyride, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, and No Hard Feelings. Have a great day, everyone. Stay focused, stay awesome, and let's get taught.